Every moment's a new moment. The challenge is that we tell ourselves the same story and we believe we're locked into our past. But I do believe in general that it is possible to redefine some different conditions and some different things to then change how we are. I mean, they've proven this, by the way. They've done this. People with multiple personality disorder, I've shared this before, but people with multiple personality disorder, they will have different personalities that will have possibly, well, they've proven this, different eye colors. Imagine you've got Bob and you got Rick. Bob has a certain personality structure. Maybe Bob is a very easygoing person. Maybe Bob is healthy and eats a certain diet. Then Bob switches to Rick. Rick has a completely different diet, has a completely different set of emotions, has a different eye color, and get this, Bob may not have cancer, Rick may have cancer. When Bob shifts into Rick, you can test the body, and the body one moment will not have cancer, the next moment it will. This has been proven with people with multiple personality disorder. This kind of thing, diseases, cancer, stuff like that. It can switch like this. Something in the body that could kill somebody, it could switch like that because of a personality change. So multiple personality disorder is multiple personality disorder. There's no control over it. And in the book, there's 2 books I recommend. One's Personality Isn't Permanent. Talks about how we get locked into different personality structures. We look at our astrology and it says you're not going to be the most abundant person, so you believe you're not meant to be financially abundant, or you look at your Myers-Briggs and stuff like that, or your human design, and then you develop these beliefs about yourself. But what if you could become free of all those? Those are powerful tools, but a lot of times people then have the tools use them. The truth is, any of us can break out of these boxes by not getting limited by them. It can many times be limitations. Now, the other book is How to Break the Habit of Being Yourself by Joe Dispenza. It talks about our personality and how flexible it is, and how if you want a new reality, you got to change how you think, act, and feel. Now, one of the most important beliefs that you have to change and realize is one of the reasons I was sharing those stories with you is one of the most important beliefs you need to change in order to change your identity or to make a permanent shift in vibration is you must change the belief that it is hard to change. If you believe change is hard, or you believe changing beliefs is hard, or if you believe that you are the accumulation of your past, then it will be very hard for you to change. How can you change when you believe everything is solid and rigid? If you believe you're solid, things are rigid, the past is what it is, and your past equals who you are now, then it is very hard to change. And one of the main reasons I enjoy talking about parallel realities is because it helps us create a greater degree of change from one reality to another, and to understand this one truth of reality. You are constantly changing. This is a new moment. You are who you choose to be right now. Right now. Right now. Every moment's a new moment. The challenge is that we tell ourselves the same story and we believe we're locked into our past, so we keep recreating ourselves over and over and over again because we believe it's solid and fixed, not knowing at any moment we can make a new choice about who we are and be on that timeline and be in that reality and stop going back into the past to re-living it over and over and over again, to give ourselves self-fulfilling prophecies over and over and over again. We can wake up at any moment, but we believe change is hard. Knowing multiple personality disorder has people changing from having cancer one moment to not the next, from having a different eye color from one moment to the next, from having different food preferences from one moment to the next, we can then start to loosen up who we are. The challenge is that many of us are afraid to live in the moment and are afraid of living in the unknown, so we'd rather create familiar patterns and familiar sensations over and over again. People may have a belief that says I'm not worthy of love, or a belief that says I'm worthy of abusive relationships. And sometimes they got Stockholm Syndrome. I had that after my ex-stepmom left my life when I was 15 years old. What happened is I no longer had someone controlling my life, being manipulative and crazy. And I remember the sense of anxiety that came with this newness of I can do anything now. I can watch TV. I can eat Twinkies. I really look forward to Twinkies. My grandma always had Twinkies on her fridge, and for a long time, I wasn't allowed to have sweets or any food. Like, my brother and I had a TV dinner at night and a bowl of cereal in the morning, and we weighed 120 pounds. And my grandma kind of came in and helped save the situation. But then we go from living in this like house to living in this like 3-bedroom house with my Nana, my papa, my dad, and my brother and I. But the nice thing was we had freedom. We didn't have as much, but we had freedom. And one of that freedom was we could eat Twinkies. At a certain point in time, though, I didn't think I was worthy of Twinkies. I remember when my ex-stepmom came in the situation when I was 7 years old, I went over to her mom's house, which was, I guess, my grandma in a way. And I remember I went into the kitchen, and she's like, oh, here's some little donuts, those little chocolate donuts. And I went and I had one, and it was great. And then I go play for a little bit, or not even play. This is before like the real control came in. But I was like chilling in the living room, and then I was like, I want another donut. So I go into the kitchen, I get another donut, because growing up, that was never a problem. If I want another donut, I could have another donut. All of a sudden, I got in trouble. Oh, you went and got another donut? You're being sneaky. Shame. Then I was shameful because I went in and got another donut. I'm not allowed to have another donut. And that's when that shame started. That worthiness, or lack of worthiness. So it's interesting. And then now, years later, then I could have that. And I had freedom, right? But there was a part of me that was afraid of all this freedom. So what did I do? I attracted women into my life. Specifically women, because there was a story that women are trying to control me. And I specifically attracted a girlfriend in my life that was very controlling and jealous. Was with her for 5 years, broke up with her. Many of you know this story. But then I transferred to Nordstrom's and women's shoes to Salon Shoes, better department. But the manager of that department was the same exact archetype of my ex-stepmom, controlling, manipulative, protected by upper management. So couldn't get rid of her. It was hard to get. We didn't get rid of her until 4 years later when I started to heal my relationship and my past trauma with my ex-stepmom. I started to forgive her, and I started to see it differently, and I saw the beauty and how it led me to a spiritual awakening. Within 2 weeks of that realization, that manager got fired, and she was there for like 10 years, and nobody could get her fired because she was protected by upper management. But here's the thing. All reality is on the outside is a reflection of the inside. So if you want to change your reality, the key is changing your vibration. How do you change your vibration? You have awareness and choice. Awareness and choice. And you could even say it's awareness, letting go, and choice. Choosing a new reality is the key, and knowing there's no going back. You are who you choose to be right now. If you go back, you are recreating something you know you don't want if you don't want to recreate the past. But it's being honest with yourself and seeing that the thing that keeps you tied to your past is the familiar sensations. And sometimes familiar sensations can be still painful, can be still abusive, but it's maybe familiar. So you got to be honest with yourself and see, what payoff are you getting? Is it the payoff of familiarity? Is it the payoff to be right? I was right that there were always women trying to control me, but was I happy? But there's a payoff. When you're right, you feel high. You feel like it gives you a self-established sense of reality. When I went and decided to make daily videos on YouTube, I was living at my dad's house, recently went through a breakup, moved in with my dad, decided I wanted to figure my stuff out, and then I decided, I'm going to make videos every single day on YouTube, no matter what. And in a year from now, I think my life will be completely transformed, be completely different. I made that choice. And once I made that choice, at first, when you make a new choice, the only hard part is the initial part. Because initially, when you make the choice, what happens is you make the choice and you have this little buffer where you're starting to do things, and at first you have to put in some willpower. some focus, but then it becomes natural. It becomes your dominant vibration. After a week or two of making videos, it became natural. I was working 9-to-5 job, but making videos every day. And eventually that became my dominant reality. All you got to do to create your dream life is be the version of you that you can imagine that is doing what they love for a living. Maybe that version of you has a certain set of boundaries. Maybe that version of you has to say no to friends wanting to hang out when you're trying to grow your dream life. Model that version of you. It exists now. Parallel realities show us that every reality you can possibly imagine exists now. Be that version of you. Give yourself permission to be it, and give yourself permission to let go of the old version of you, knowing it was an unaware version of you, or is a version of you you were unaware of. I hope you guys enjoyed that little segment from my podcast called the Aaron Doughty Podcast. If you want to listen to the rest of that episode, click the link below. You'll see it on iTunes and Spotify. You can download episodes. It's so easy to listen to. You can do it while you're working out, while you're driving. It's so convenient. And that's where new episodes go live every Tuesday and Thursday, every single week. I have guests coming on the podcast. I have solo episodes, and we go really deep. This is really a place where I get very personable and I share more about things I'm thinking of. I share my top book insights, and you can check it out and subscribe below, and you will see it there. So iTunes, Spotify, listen to the rest of the episode below as well. And I hope you guys enjoyed. And as always, I'll see you guys on the next episode. Peace, much love, and namaste.